Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of E&Ftv. Today, we're joined by the brilliant Jonathan Merry, who is a revenue management and pricing professional. This is actually another installment of our Candidates on the Market initiative, part of our Ambassador project. What we're looking to do with this series is very much give a platform to the people that are on the market right now, that are experiencing things firsthand, and hear basically what they have to say, and hopefully potentially promote themselves to potential employers. So, Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have obviously yourself on the show and get to hear obviously what you've been experiencing in the market at the moment. So Jonathan, let's kick things off. So it'd be great for us to understand a bit more about you, your background, how I suppose you discovered revenue management and the sort of wider dynamic pricing element, I suppose. So yeah, please do tell us a bit about yourself.
Okay, thank you, Thomas. So I started working for Monaco Airlines back in 2010 and in a planning role. And shortly after I started there, you were working with the revenue management team, providing them with certain bits of data and resources. And after 2.5 years in that planning role, I decided to take the next step, which was within their revenue management team. So it's obviously looking after a portfolio of routes. In terms of revenue, it's in the high tens of millions, just under £100 million a year. So obviously a huge amount of responsibility, but I quite enjoyed it. It was a really good team I had around me. I've done similar roles as well within Thomas Cook and within TUI. Again, expanding within, not just the aviation side, but also within the package side, getting some exposure to hotels. And then just over 2 years ago, I then decided to make the leap back a bit closer to home, so to work for Manchester Airport. So within their revenue management requirements are for their car parking and their lounges. Now, I've had quite a lot of strong exposure to their car parking side of things for the last 2 years. Very significant revenues. It keeps the airport going so that they can generate new business with new airlines. They can do that. They can then get more people filling their car parking spaces. Yeah. So, so I spent the last 2 years doing that, and it's a lot more complex than I initially thought. You're having to factor in durations, products within your pricing, lead time analysis. There's a lot to it, more than just people thinking it's a one price for your car park. There's just so many elements, analysis to it. It was really eye-opening.
Fantastic. And I suppose in terms of sort of where you're at now then. So of course, obviously, unfortunately, like many at the moment, you do find yourself on the job market. I mean, what's your experience been like, I suppose, from the types of jobs that you're looking at? Obviously, I know that you've got the background in the sort of airline, airport side of things, of course, car parking. So I suppose, what's your experience been like trying to find a job in this market at the moment?
It has been very tough in terms of kind of jobs I've been applying for. Where I've had interviews, some people have come back and said, you've got too much experience for the role that we're after. We don't think you'll last 6 months because you'll look to go and find something else a bit either closer to home or something more ambitious for you. Then likewise, I'm also getting a lot of feedback through from when I'm sending CVs out. It's the feedback coming back to me is along the lines of, you've not got the right experience. We're looking for someone to hit the ground running. Yeah. You're missing this part. You're not qualified for this part. So it's really tough from that side of things. And it's just trying to get that different. It's just trying to get, that sort of balance correct. I mean, I've been applying for quite a few jobs out. Most of the jobs in fairness have been completely outside of travel and aviation, because there's nothing really much there when your volumes are down by 80 to 90% year on year versus plan. So I've been looking at other things. So what have I got experiences in? So sales, targeting, KPIs, planning, just anything where I feel that I've got skills that can be transferable. And also I try to keep a few jobs within my hobbies, which I'm sure we'll go on to later on within this. But it's been tough. I had expected, to find a job a lot easier, because the hunt's been for about 2 months now, and really kind of very little to show for it after that time.
Yeah, I suppose in terms of what you're looking for at the moment, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's just about identifying your transferable skills. So where, you know, what your experiences are sort of built in terms of your skill set and applying that to just a different environment. I guess that's the new way of thinking if the travel and tourism industry and of course hospitality industry are struggling so much at the moment, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's interesting. I had a conversation with one recruiter a couple of weeks ago now, and she was looking to employ someone with some digital experience for a shop over in Liverpool. So they obviously, you know, shops during the lockdown had to close. So most businesses really needed a digital strategy and digital plan to move forward to sell their products. And so this is one such company that's now looking at that. Now, within my experience, you know, I have had quite a bit of exposure within, you know, web sales within the digital side. So it's trying to prove within that yes, I've got skills that are transferable from, you know, from digital. I mean, again, it's going to be a bit of a learning curve for me to know the full size of, say, the e-commerce side of things, rather than just purely revenue management and trading. But, you know, look, I've got some very good basic skills there that I can then take on to other businesses like theirs. And again, they're learning quite a lot at the same time as well. So if a business is prepared to learn and take someone else with it, all the better. So yeah, I'm yet to hear back from that one, but fingers crossed.
Well, fingers crossed for sure. I suppose a really sort of focus right now, or a real focus right now, is on how to stay motivated during this difficult time. Now, of course, you know, getting up in the morning and starting applying for jobs and sort of trying to remain positive is always a good thing. But I suppose, what have you been doing to keep yourself motivated?
So at the start of this, I actually bought a new bike in January, so that was quite well timed. So at the start of lockdown at late March and April, we had some really good weather. So I spent most of the summer spending a few hours a day on the bike, just trying to improve my fitness, because it was I was furloughed at the time. And I think we all thought, you know, after a month or two, we'd all be going back to work and everything would all be business as usual. And that's clearly not happened. So I took that time basically to just go off, get myself fit. And also, whilst, you know, say if the weather wasn't good, or came back home in the afternoons to then actually spend some proper time on myself. Yeah. So I then was doing, you know, quite a few courses to improve my Microsoft Excel skills and my Microsoft Word skills, PowerPoint presentation skills, just try and, you know, improve my overall, you know, performance and presentation from that end, so that, you know, when I thought I'd go back to work, which I did for a brief period of time, those might have come in handy. Also, yeah, I do agree that, you know, maintaining discipline, I mean, that's something that's entrenched within me. I used to be in the Air Cadets back as a teenager, and it's something that ultimately I don't think ever leaves you when you leave it. So, you know, it is a case of getting up early in the morning, just getting that routine similar again. So, you know, watching the breakfast news, like probably not overindulging it too much. And then, you know, shortly after, you know, get yourself showered, make your bed, and then, you know, get into into that job searching. So all the various different job sites. You know, I've spent quite a few hours a day. I mean, it's almost a full-time job doing that, but it's something that you just need to keep at it, really. So yes, so for me, it's kind of, you know, just a mixture of exercise and mental exercise. But I'll keep those skills that you've got going. Just keep challenging them.
It's definitely a thing about sort of, everyone does things in their own way, of course, and structure works really well for some people. And one point that I noticed that you said about making your bed every morning. Now that, I imagine, has got something to do with the Air Cadets in terms of that discipline of getting up in the morning, making sure that your bed is made and all the rest of it. But I completely agree. I think that there needs to be an element of structure, whether that be within your working life or whether that be within this job search side of things. And I have to commend you, and obviously other candidates that have come forward to do an interview like this, because one, it shows real bravery, but two, it shows a real proactive approach to your job search. If we're able to get some sort of dialogue built with employers out there that might not be actively advertising, but are certainly talking about recruitment and certainly trying to find certain individuals, you never know. And, you know, applying that click and now button and, you know, all the rest of it and applying for all these jobs is really great. calling the employers is going to be a really good decision as well. But to do something like this that really does push your boundaries, that really takes you out of your comfort zone in a lot of ways, I think is something to be absolutely celebrated. So, you know, well done to you for doing this. I suppose finally, you know, with again, so many people that do find themselves in these difficult positions at the moment, what advice would you give to other people that do find themselves on the job market at the moment, Jonathan?
So the best thing I did was about a month ago was put a quick message on Facebook. I mean, I'd let most of my friends know through WhatsApp chats that like, and ex-colleagues with WhatsApp chats there, you know, just what the situation was, because they're in a similar position as well, some of them. So I put the Facebook message out on, sadly, you know, due to the pandemic, I've been made redundant. So obviously worded it much more, you know, much more elegantly than that. And the best thing that happened was I got people private messaging me back straight away saying, you know, with leads, you know, saying that this is a potential avenue you could go down. And it's just the words of encouragement that came through. I mean, actually, the reason why I'm here now speaking to you was actually through one of those leads. So they actually, you put a message out on LinkedIn, advertising a job, and a good former colleague, actually a former boss of mine, he tagged me in that and messaged me saying, look, this looks right up your street. So and that's how we're talking today. So actually it's your connections, whether it be professional or friends, they're absolutely crucial. They will find you leads that you may not find online and through your search. So my advice is just let people know that you're looking.
Definitely. I could not agree more. Using that connection base now more than ever is so important. So no, and again, I hope, and I keep everything crossed and touch every piece of wood in my house right now, that this does generate some sort of boost in either connections or dialogue. And I know that our audience is getting more and more established, and they are very supportive of this initiative. So I hope anybody that does watch this, please does, you know, or do, you know, like, share, comment on it, you know, spread the word. And of course, a message to any potential employers out there that might be looking for somebody with Jonathan's skill set, please do contact Jonathan directly. He's on LinkedIn. I'll put a link in the description below, but please do get in contact with him today. He is wanting to talk to people about opportunities. He's dying to get back into work. He's fantastic at what he does. So please do contact him today. Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us today. It's absolutely a pleasure. And again, I commend you for your sort of bravery and pushing those boundaries of yours, because I think you've done a great job.
Thanks very much, Tom. And I think this format's absolutely brilliant. So I think commendable to you for actually coming up with it and getting people out there. Very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Well, guys, don't forget to see who's on next week's episode now.